Hello, 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 friends. Just getting all my stuff situated here. It's Jen Berkelmans here, and I am a coach for highly sensitive women who struggle with the overwhelm and emotional fatigue that can come with being highly sensitive. And I teach them how to be more connected to their body, as well as stress management to help them feel more grounded and calm in their daily lives. So today we are going to be talking about the key to your ability to establish boundaries is your self-worth and how those two are directly connected. I think this is a very important conversation for highly sensitive people because we not only want to really help people, we have a strong desire to help people, but we often have a very hard time saying no because, we'll get into that more, but we're afraid to say no because we really do want to help people. And so I want to talk about why, make this connection to why we may have trouble establishing boundaries if we have these thoughts and these beliefs about our self-worth. So to start off with, they are directly connected. Our ability to love ourselves and how we view ourselves, our self-worth, will directly impact our ability to put up boundaries, to say no to people, and to sometimes state what we need from relationships. So, if you feel on a deeper level, maybe not recognizing this, but if you feel that you don't deserve time to yourself, it's going to be really hard to say no to other people. To say, no, I need to take care of myself today. If you have this fear that the only way that you will get love is if you're able to do things for other people, if you believe that there's this exchange on a deeper level of love that comes with doing something for someone else, then it's going to be really hard to say no to doing that something else if you feel that's the only way that you can get love. And that's a theme that came up for me this year. I recognized that I attached my ability to be loved by other people with the amount that I can do for them. So that is an important one. And it's important to kind of look at these different things and recognize them in ourselves, because if we're not able to put up boundaries, if we're not able to say no, we're just going to keep going and burn ourselves out all the time. And that's not good either. And, the key thing to remember around all of these things is the people who don't like when boundaries are put up are upset because they were getting something out of us not having boundaries in the first place. People who establish healthy boundaries understand and encourage healthy boundaries because they are able to do the same. So that's an important thing to mention as well. How you view yourself will directly relate to, how well you're able to say no. So, like I said, if you don't feel you deserve time to yourself, if you don't believe that your health is just as much of a priority as other people, if you don't believe that your time is just as valuable, if you feel like the only way you can get love is by doing things for other people, or being a certain way in their life, like having a certain role in their life, then you are going to have a hard time saying no. So the first part of this is recognizing this. And I think a good exercise around this is looking at the areas that you have trouble saying no. So, whenever you feel an instinct that you don't want to do something, or that something is not working for you in a relationship, the way that someone's doing something or something they're saying, or so when something comes up and you feel that you want to say something about it, put a boundary up, or you want to say no to somebody, but you're having a hard time doing it, then this is an exercise that you can do. So you're going to journal and ask yourself some questions. If you say no, or if you say something, like put up a boundary, what do you feel it will change about the relationship? So, saying no to that person, having to have a difficult conversation and say, listen, when you always show up late, this, it makes it's wasting both of our time. Like, having that conversation, if you're having a really hard time with that conversation, ask, in having that conversation, how do you feel it will change the relationship? And next, what do you fear will happen? Do you think they will be angry? Do you think they won't want to talk to you? Do you feel like they won't want to be in a relationship with you anymore? And I don't mean just like romantic relationship, but friendship. What do you fear will happen? And then, what do you feel it means about you? What does this say about you if they react negatively to whatever boundary you're putting up? Does that mean that does that feel like that means that you're a bad person? Does it feel like you're unlovable? Does it feel like, Meyer said bad person, that you've done something wrong? What story comes up into your mind when you think about that? Okay? And so when you journal all that, you just let whatever comes out come out. You might be surprised by what comes out. And then this last point. You are worthy. You were born worthy. We were all born worthy of love. And that shouldn't be dependent on what you can do for another person. So, when you go through these questions, question them, like really question them and say, is this really true? Is it really true that if someone reacts negatively to you saying no, that makes you a bad person? I don't think so. So, really question them. Is this true? And if someone will only be in relationship with you because you do something for them, and in trying to take time for yourself, that they get angry or don't want to be in relationship with you, is that a relationship that works for you? Is that really love? And only you can determine that for yourself, whether that works for you, but it's an important thing to kind of go through. So yeah, it's a little bit of a shorter one today, but I think it's an important exercise because, we can talk about what boundaries are and what to say and what to do, but we first have to, if we're having trouble saying no, if someone wants us to go out and we don't feel like going out, but we have a hard time saying no because we feel bad, if someone is repeatedly showing up late and you know, it's frustrating for us and we're having a hard time making that conversation. If, you know, we're feeling tired and burnt out and we can't maintain the same activities with our partner that we normally do, and we have trouble having these conversations, it's an important thing to kind of look at what's underneath that. What fears and what do we feel that means about us if we say no and we get a reaction from that? And so this is something I've personally worked through the last year. Boundaries have been something that I've been working on for the last 4 years, and I struggled with them a lot at the beginning. Saying no was really hard for me. Really, really hard for me. And, as I've gone along, I've really kind of dug more to the root. I remember just saying no and cringing, like, what are they going to say? What are they going to say back to me? And now as I, have gone further in my journey, I know to now look more at the root than at the top. And so I can now be like, well, what is the story I'm telling myself about what could happen if I do this? And what does that mean to me? What does that mean about me? Or what do I think it means? And then often when I write it out, I'm like, well, that's just not true, but important to know. All right, so I hope that was helpful. Curious to hear what you have to say about that. Love to hear any questions or comments that you have. And if you found this video helpful, please like and share if you know anyone who would enjoy it. And if you'd like more, of these videos and be alerted when I make these videos, please like and subscribe, follow, all of that good stuff. And so, I hope everyone is having a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And we'll talk soon.